Did it again. Well, guys, I cartographed, car- cartograph. I I did the expedition, guys. Expedition 3, finished it. Pretty cool. Um, Pretty easy, easy peasy, lemon squeezy if you ask Beezy, because basically the first 3.5 phases I was able to complete in the first under 2 hours. And then I kind of fucked around for a while. I got hung up on trying to get the Rocket Man challenge, and I encountered a few little like hiccups in the game. But overall, if you just grind it out, you'll get it. And I just want to talk about that, I guess. I'm not going to give you any like detailed rundowns of how to do this or that, but I will give you guys some really good fucking tips. First off, if you haven't done the expedition yet, you've got a little bit of time still, so, get out there and do it. If you're stuck on it, and it's not a specific, like, glitch or bug, then I might be able to help you get through most of it. My most basic tip here is literally going to be that, like most designed out forced elements, such as the expeditions, basically, it's set up in a way where if you do all the milestones, you will get all the things you need to do all the milestones. And so, like most things, you will want to just do everything you can. If you can't do a certain milestone or you can't make a certain thing, look at all the milestones. Look at all the things you can do. Because you don't have to do them in any specific order. You just have to do the things. So if you do them, you get them. So there are some milestones, that are easier to get than others in different phases, and every milestone that you get gives you a reward for your character, and a lot of times those rewards are pieces that you will need to complete the things that you were trying to complete for another milestone. So basically the hardest ones are going to be like completing the ship. That's what they basically want you to do the whole time, is fix your ship, get off the planet, land on the space station, go to the rendezvous points, and then get out of the galaxy. That's basically the rundown of how it goes. And then you hit the milestones, and you'll get the rewards, and the rewards will usually give you the stuff you need. I've seen a lot of people complaining, or at least having issues with, like, the base computer not giving you, or the research computer not giving them the right research items to build and all that. There's been a lot of patches to little things. Personally, I didn't have any issues at all. There was a few blue screens that are going to happen no matter what, and there was a few blue screens that I caused by making stupid decisions trying to get a challenge. The hardest thing for me to get was the Rocket Man challenge. I think mine was bugged out because every time I would be falling and using my rocket launcher, or rocket pack, the counter would reset, even though I was in the middle of space, like air. It would just keep resetting, and I couldn't get it. And then I quit. I finished up all the other milestones I could, and then I came back to that one. And as I was going up my mountain that I had claimed, this time the jetpack was working properly. So I found out that, like, if you hit it just right, and I think I remember this from before, but if you get close to a mountain and you hit it just right to where you're going up and it starts counting, and then you lean a little bit towards the mountain and just catch the edge of it, your rocket pack will not drain. Your timer will keep going up, and you'll just shoot up to the top. And if you can keep that steady balance, you'll get it in no time. It's real simple. I have a base that I built called 420 because it's really fucking high. Get it? Ha ha ha. Real funny. So if you are on the planet and you look around and you find there's a lot of bases named, for that challenge, but my specific base, it works. You can get the challenge for the mountain, and you can also start from the base of it and kind of jetpack your way up it, get the right angle, and you'll get the Rocket Man in no time. A couple of people have like some glitch spots they've made where you can like sit or stand. I've heard you can also go jetpack at the end of the space station, but that implies you have to get to the space station. And I got Rocket Man before I got to the space station, so you don't have to do it that way. But if you have made it to the space station and still haven't got the Rocket Man milestone, you can go to the edge of the space station apparently and walk out and use your jetpack. Let's see. The other notes would be one of the challenges gives you all the recipes, and when you unlock all those recipes, you unlock the recipe for the Herox, and the Herox is apparently one of the hardest things for people to figure out how to get or make. There are more than one ways to make it. You can also use a large refiner, and plenty of people have built bases and labeled them and stock them up with refiners, as well as you can find people's bases where they've set up the mineral extractors. And if you find a mineral extractor that has a depot and you can extract, or you can take the stuff out of the depot, that gives you that milestone. So look around for people's bases. In fact, where I started at on the planet, I put a base down and somebody built a base above me, and they put everything I needed to get a bunch of milestones. So if you are on the planet and you're looking for a quick place to get some milestones out of the way, my base, that base is called Boson Booty Hole, Boodee. Again, silly joke, whatever. I was just trying to make a base and get going. And if you go to that base, I have my elements set down, and then if you go up the hill, right above it, there is a galactic terminal, and somebody built a base with all the stuff you need to get most of the things. And then after that, it's really just playing the game. The expedition is really just like a super tutorial. If you're OG like me, it's basically just a fun adventure and kind of like a test of your skills. And if you're new, it's basically like advanced tutorial mode. But it's not hard to do, and my overall advice is literally just do every milestone you can. And if you hit a milestone you can't finish, then find one you can finish. And most of the time I found that if I did all the milestones I could, I ended up getting what I needed to continue on, whether it was enough salvage data or the blueprints for something or the item itself. So that's my advice. Do all the milestones you can. Doesn't matter what order. As you do them, you'll start getting the ability to do the other things you need to do. And that's it. And then the hardest thing I think everybody has a problem with is scanning and finding all of the minerals, the flora and fauna. It's not too hard. The water ones are actually easy. There are no animals that I saw, or at least in my, unless I was lucky and I landed in the right spot, there were no creatures that are like specifically located somewhere. All of the water animals are active always. They're just, one of them is rare and you gotta wait for it. And it looks like two of them look kind of identical, so you can get confused and just not, maybe you don't realize you didn't scan the same, that animal. The same thing goes for the minerals. The hardest thing I think everybody's going to have trouble with is the minerals. And there's no way to tell you where to go. Basically, there's a bunch of them that were underwater that I found, and the last ones I found were tiny little rocks. I barely caught them. And then a bunch of them look identical to ones you already scanned. So it's very easy to see a pile of them and they all look the same, but 3 of them are different. So make sure you just look at every single little rock and speck outside of the ground, and then also look underwater. Underwater had a good number of the ones I needed, but I didn't act like I know I sound this way because I hear myself, but again, I didn't have any trouble. But I do a lot of scanning in general in the game. I've done it so many times that I kind of there's a pattern to it. If you can't find a mineral, you go to the water, or even a plant. You go to the water, you scan all the water you can find. Not water, but you know what I mean. In all the water spots you can find, you scan around for all the flora and all the minerals, and you typically will find the ones you're missing. Now, if they're not underwater, check in the actual cave biome spots, because there are some specific ones in the caves. In fact, I found 3 of them in the cave in this one. There's a ceiling one, a floor one, and a couple floor ones. And that should get you all the minerals. You just have to look for them. The animals, pretty easy. Those aren't too difficult to find. There's not even that many of them. And the as far as like if you're picking out a pet for the for that milestone or just to help you out, try to find the giant bug. The giant bug is super fast. It climbs straight up mountains, and like it'll get you around really quick if you're having trouble, or you don't have the exosuit yet. The exosuit is available at my base that I mentioned. Oh, and then my final note as far as like the expedition and helping you guys out is that the other hardest thing to get is the 3 larval cores. They're not hard to get in general. If you know what to do, you just, you dig under the ground, you shoot the eggs, and then when they fall under the ground, you roll up to you, you pick them up. No big deal. You avoid the monsters for the most part. The hard part is finding an abandoned place to get the eggs. Like, you just, unless you got lucky, I couldn't find any of them. And I looked through the entire list of bases, and I could not find one person who had labeled their base larval core, larval core. Hey, get your larval cores. There's like bases for every other element, minerals here, this here, So I made a base at an abandoned building with larval cores all around it. I named it Higgs-II-Boson. Come get your larval cores or whatever. Larval cores, baby. That's what I called it. Larval cores, baby. So once you get to the point where you need the larval cores and if you're having trouble, you should at that point be able to look at the teleporters and find people's bases and whatnot, and look at the base. Look through all of them. Find Higgs boson larval cores. I named it so that people can find it, and hopefully, if you're stuck on that, you'll find it, and that'll help you. Otherwise, that's my notes as far as like helping you get through it. It's really just play it. If you haven't played it, just do it. If you're stuck and it's not a bug or a glitch, hopefully my tips will help you, because literally it's that easy. You just do the milestones you can, and the rest of the stuff can either be found by players making bases and helping each other out, or found by playing the game. Once you've completed everything and you get those sick ass rewards, then you can go beautify your base with some new parts, such as the mushrooms. You got the hanging stuff. I love that hanging creeper moss. Like, I put it in my office. You got a couple of mushrooms. You got some like disc mushrooms that I use to like place in the walls as opposed to like on the ground. And you got a little biolight. That's cool. Tier 3 of the community research finished, so the bubble machine is out now. That's cool. It can go really big, like way big, or it can go pretty small. I've got mine small and next to my little desk. The biolight can go huge, or it can go really small. And then, of course, the best part is the pet you get. The horrific pet that is unique if you are not on PC, because if you're on PC, they've had it forever because people mod shit, and they have modded versions of that. So if you're not on PC, then it's pretty cool. And I got some notes about that. Note number 1. I tried to make mine smaller as opposed to bigger, because a lot of people make theirs bigger. I thought it'd be cute to make a small one that follows me around, just like my little small robot dog. However, I was unable to stack the genetic sequencing on this one. I was able to shrink it 100% one time. I tried to affect all the other things. They don't do anything. Doesn't matter what you put into it. I don't know if it's a bug or if it's specific to this creature, but I was only able to manipulate the size of it one time. I chose shrink, so I made mine smaller, like a little pet. And you cannot change the color. You cannot affect anything else as far as I was able to. Again, could be a bug, could just not be part of it yet. Also, you cannot equip them with any of the specific appearance items, so that kind of sucks. Basically, they're cool. They do a little like monster roar when you do, like when I do a heroic pose, he does his like scary pose. I haven't really used it like out and about too much because I don't run around. I do a lot of building lately, so But otherwise, that's my notes. You can't manipulate it, but you can, you know, do one size change. Basically, is what I had. All my other eggs before this update, I was able to stack the sequencing and just keep going back into it and doing more. I don't know if they patched that out. I haven't tried it with anything else yet since then, but now I'm going to, and if I find out anything different, I'll let everybody know. But otherwise, Expedition 3. I finished it. My save took about 9 hours, but I would say 4 of those hours were spent fucking around, and 3 of those hours were spent trying to find larval cores, and the rest was just, you know, playing it. And honestly, you'll probably get really lucky. At this point, most of the stuff is like handed out to everybody because people have made bases for everything. And like I said, look for Higgs-Boson or boson and larval cores if you need those. And hopefully that gets you squared away. Alright guys, thanks. Sorry it took so long to get through this. It was supposed to be short, but here we are. Alright, love you guys. Bye!